Going on, everybody? It's Key Time coming back with another one to talk about the NFL Divisional Round weekend games. We had a lot that went on in the divisional round. A lot of things that I predicted and I spoke into existence. Now I'm about to talk about it. With the first game, the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. The Houston Texans, they made this a game early. It was 10-10 at one point, and then all of a sudden, the Baltimore Ravens showed who they were and took control of this game and outscored the Houston Texans 24-0. Now, one thing about that, we knew that they were going to beat the Texans. We just didn't know by how much. Now, we got the Ravens and the Chiefs this coming weekend. So we will see who is the better team. This is mano y mano. Kansas City Chiefs, six-time going to the AFC Championship game. Baltimore Ravens, first time hosting the AFC Championship game in 53 years. Last time they hosted the championship game was 1971. We see with what Baltimore has. They have Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson, and they got two tight ends that nobody is talking about. And then we have on one side where the Kansas City Chiefs, now look, I've been giving grief about the wide receiver core for Kansas City throughout the entirety of the season, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling came through when he needed to come through. Travis Kelce, he had a couple drops late in the season, but now has turned it on in the playoffs. But needless to say that we expected these two teams to be in the AFC Championship game. Now I'm going to save my prediction for the next show. I want to get to the Houston Texans. Houston Texans, you have nothing to hang your head about this season. You exceeded expectations. Most people had you going 6-11, 5-12. Me, I had you as my dark horse pick. I said, worst case scenario, this team wins 7 games. Best case scenario, they make the playoffs. But the Houston Texans, you have your quarterback for the next 10 or 12 years. If you shore up that offensive line, because you need to shore up that offensive line so he can have more time to come back and throw the ball. But for the Texans, congratulations on an outstanding season, exceeding expectations. Baltimore, this weekend you got home field advantage, but you playing against Patrick Mahomes, and it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes, but I'll leave that there. Now, the next game I want to talk about is the Green Bay Packers and San Francisco 49ers. I picked San Francisco to win this game strictly off of experience. Packers, youngest team in the NFL. Average age is 23. Jordan Love, their starting quarterback, is 23. Packers had their chance at winning this game. I said when the Packers missed that field goal, I knew that they was going to lose that game, because if they would have made that field goal, they would have been up by 7 and the game would have went into overtime. But missed field goal, 49ers go down and win the game, and now we see that the 49ers are in the NFC Championship game. So the Green Bay Packers, another team that exceeded expectations. Green Bay, they very well possibly could be back in the divisional round next season, but they got to get back to the drawing board and get ready for the NFL draft in a couple of months. Now, as far as Brock Purdy had a okay game. It wasn't really off the charts like he had early in the season, but You needed one drive, a game-winning drive, and he delivered. Brandon Ayuk missed a first down, as I call him. He came up with a critical first down on that last drive. And Christian McCaffrey finished off the drive, and the 49ers win the game. So that in and of itself is a team that can score outside of just one player. But there was a stat that I found out that when the 49ers are down in the fourth quarter, they are 0-30 under Kyle Shanahan. That is just a ridiculous stat that I came across. But at least they stopped the losing streak when they needed to. Now, 49ers are on their way to the NFC Championship game. It's another heavyweight fight in this championship game. You got the team that I'm about to talk about, Detroit, and you got them. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave my prediction for the next show. Now the team I want to talk about is the Detroit Lions. I said Tampa Bay. Congratulations to them. Baker Mayfield, he is going to get a contract after what he did. This was a prove it year, and he proved everybody wrong. He proved all the naysayers wrong. Now, as far as Detroit, they've had the same players from 3 years ago. This is the same team from 3 years ago when they were 0-10-1, and everybody is saying that Dan Campbell need to get fired. But the Lions owner came out and said that, no, we going to stay with him. And now it is paying off. Dan Campbell, hey, congrats to you for getting the Detroit Lions to the NFC Championship game. And you know what, better yet, not just getting them to the NFC Championship game, making them relevant again, because it has been 32 years. Make that 31 years. 31 years since they've made it to the NFC Championship game. Throughout those 31 years, we all know that they were bad. One year they failed to win any games. But as far as right now, Detroit, that city is in beyonds of happy that they are in the NFC Championship game. Because coming into the season, didn't nobody have Detroit making the NFC Championship? They only had them winning a playoff game. And I don't even think that they had them winning a playoff game. Detroit Lions, they have exceeded expectations. Both of these games that I'm about, both of these games, these championship games are going to be tight. Turnovers will be critical in this game. But one thing the 49ers defense they have in favor of them, Jared Goff, he don't like to run. So you keep Jared Goff in the pocket, he gonna throw you at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 interceptions. Now, he didn't throw any interceptions against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's one thing. The quarterback I'm going to talk about, Baker Mayfield, I said that he would throw 2 interceptions in the game. And he did just that. Now, did I speak that into existence for myself? No, but he has crumbled in pressure-packed moments. Remember when he played against Kansas City 3 years ago in the championship game? He crumbled. This year, he crumbled against the Detroit Lions. He has crumbled in pressure-packed moments. What did you expect? Did you expect for Baker Mayfield to go into Detroit, into Motown, and win that game? I didn't, and that's why I picked the Detroit Lions. So, moving on to the game that everybody is talking about and the game that everybody wants to hear my reaction from. Kansas City and the Buffalo Bills. Now I'm about to go thoroughly into this game, so I want everybody to stay with me. The first couple of drives, Kansas City, yeah, they were iffy. They scored 2 field goals on it. Okay, that's success. Now, when you come to the Buffalo Bills had a halftime lead. They were leading by 4, 17-13. So, one thing that was different in the second half, they started throwing the ball more. They didn't run the ball as much. They didn't. And Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't have a strong wide receiver core like he did in previous years. He's got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Rashee Rice, and Mr. Reliable Travis Kelce. Now, the Chiefs, they could have lost this game. That fumble late in the fourth quarter, they could have lost it. But the Chiefs defense doesn't get any credit. Since the start of the season, the Kansas City Chiefs have given up an average of 18 points a game. The last 3 games, I'm gonna tell you how much they done gave up. They done gave up 17, 20, and 7. With last week, 17, 27, and now 24 as of last night. Kansas City, they are a team that is experienced and seasoned. You don't get the 6 AFC championship game appearances without having some championship experience or seasoned experience. Congratulations to Kansas City. You got to go into Baltimore, Maryland in a hostile environment and try and get back to the Super Bowl. Now the champion is still in the race. Until the champion is knocked out, the champion has the better advantage over the field, over anybody in the field. So that's all I got for the Chiefs. Now I want to get to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, this is 3 times in 4 years that you have lost to the same team, to the same coach, to the same quarterback. Is it time for management to break that team up? Yes. I said 3 years ago that the Buffalo Bills championship window was starting to close. It's almost, and I say this, it's almost closed all the way. You cannot bring all of the players back. You are going to have to trade some players, and then you're going to pick up a couple players in the draft. Buffalo, this was your chance at making the AFC championship game, and you fumbled it. You really did. And another thing I want to talk about is Sean McDermott on that 4th and 4. What was that? I mean, what was that? You had the game. The game was tied at that point. The game was tied at that point, and you call a fake punt. That's the type of stuff that'll get your ass gone in the NFL. So I don't know who thought of that play. I don't know whether it was the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, or you, Sean McDermott. But everybody is going to be questioning you about that play call, and plus the field goal kick. You got the kicker had one job. He had to make that field goal, and he didn't. But the Bills lost that game way before that kick. They lost the game on that 4th down. You shouldn't have went for a fake punt on 4th down. You should have kicked it to Kansas City and had your defense dominate, because the defense was dominating throughout the entirety of the game. I mean, Is Sean McDermott coming back? That's what we really got to ask ourselves, America. Do Buffalo Bills fans, do you want Sean McDermott back? If he got to make a call like that on 4th and 4 with the season on the line, do you want him calling that play, running a fake punt, and having everybody on the opposite team know the play? And what was so bad about that? Kansas City only had 10 players on the field. So you had a mismatch, and you were supposed to make that first down. As far as Josh Allen, he has crumbled under pressure. That's all I'm going to say. Josh Allen has crumbled under pressure because the last few years, it has been Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. And he has crumbled under pressure in all 4 of them outings in the playoffs. Do you give him a big contract? Yes, you do give him a big contract. But what is he going? Is he going to produce in the playoffs? The last 4 years, he haven't produced in the playoffs. Regular season stats, that's one thing. All these stats, he do it in the regular season. That's one thing. But when he get to the playoffs, can he produce when it come to that threshold? He hasn't produced at all in the playoffs. It has been first round exit, second round exit, and I'm gonna go way back to when he started in the playoffs. The Houston Texans knocked him out with Deshaun Watson 4 years ago. So he really hasn't had any playoff success at all. So Buffalo, we know that you're gonna bring Josh Allen. Josh Allen, he coming back, so I'm not worried about that. It's as far as the wide receivers, does Stephon Diggs want to go? Mainly, does Stephon Diggs want to go? I know Gabe Davis is coming back. Basically, everybody, 75% of that team is coming back. It's gonna take a lot of fortunate things to happen for them to get back here next season, because there are so many stronger teams. There are so many teams that are going to be stronger next season. You still gonna have Kansas City, you're gonna have Baltimore, you're gonna have Cincinnati, and you're gonna have the Texans, because the Texans, they are on the come up. Now, Buffalo Bills, what do you do in the offseason? Do you give Josh Allen a reliable running back? Because, yes, that's what you need. You need a reliable running back. And does the kicker lose his job? Maybe, because no, wait a minute. Prior to last night, his last 9 kicks, he made all of them. But the Buffalo Bills, they're gonna have to do some soul searching. And do they have the right coach? Because it's been 4 years of back to back playoff knockouts. Do you need another coach in order to make it to the Super Bowl and get past that threshold? Maybe, maybe not. But that's all I'm going to say for the Buffalo Bills. And that is all I am going to say about Divisional Weekend. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember, the key is always on time.